All right, welcome back to Recession is a terrible thing to waste. Are you mentally prepared? I'm here with Sabine Allen, real estate mentor, and Colin Poponi, another real estate mentor with REMIC. And my question is for you guys, and we can start off with Sabine this time. Why did you get started in the real estate business?
Well, it was a personal choice. It was something that when I was struggling as a single mom, I was looking at opportunities that would make me not necessarily quick money, but an easy way of getting money, because I was a single mom. I didn't have too much time running around a business. So I was looking into options as to what I can do as a turnkey investment that I can sit home and actually make this work for me. And real estate came my way, and there were a few seminars that I attended, and it just bit me. I was done. I was so inspired, and it resonated with me and my style, and I said, you know, I can do this. Any average person can do this. Anyone who, I think the most people that I talk about, there's so much fear out there. They don't understand real estate business, so there's fear. But as soon as you start learning more, you get to know more people, you start connecting, it's the best place to be.
What do you think is driving those fears?
The lack of knowledge, the fact of that people are very afraid to make mistakes. These are money mistakes. If they do make them, there's huge risks involved. So you know, the fears are legitimate, but again, I think it's overrated as well. So it's all about being connected with a good team and having the right people in your life, and taking that opportunity to actually go forth and take control of your life and your investments and learn. It's all about taking action. I mean, I can sit on my couch all day and fear real estate, but at the same time I want to do it. Well, it's not going to work. You have to take that initial step. You have to break through your comfort zone and start learning, and that's what I did. That was how I started. Excellent.
And why do you get started in real estate investing, Colin?
A little bit of another, I guess the other side. I was a successful business person, and I was really interested in wealth. How do I create wealth? It's funny you use that topic, recession is a terrible thing to waste, and I would have these discussions with my parents saying, you know, why did you take advantage of the recession in the 80s? Why did you take advantage in the 90s?
Right.
A totally different situation, and for that reason I started to invest. I was kind of want to study people, successful people, and one thing that was in common with all people who had created wealth was they had real estate. I said, you know, ta-da, you know, here it is. You know, this is the one consistent thing that all the wealthy people had. I said, you know, I gotta get involved in this. And as I started learning about real estate and learning why it was so lucrative, I started to become more excited. And I come from a business background, but real estate to me was a great business model. It was very secure. It was for long-term wealth, to create generational wealth, and that's kind of what I was interested in. I had friends and people in my life who tried to do it the fast way and got burnt on numerous occasions. So I knew that wasn't the solution. Right. So
I guess your overall objective is or strategy is long term.
Yes, long term wealth, long term growth. I don't want to do the things that people in the past weren't able to take advantage of. So that's why I find the title of this whole series very fitting. It is a terrible thing to waste, and with education and with knowledge, with the right people, and with action. You know, I sit down with a lot of real estate agents from the past or friends and family of the past and saying, you know, why didn't you take action? Oh, I would have, I could have, I should have. Well, those things don't mean much in this day and age.
Right.
And
absolutely.
And regret
no excuses. Yeah,
no excuses. So let's move forward.
So in the down market, there'll be a lot of opportunities available to you. We can talk about some of the plus and minuses in a recession. For example, there'll be more loss of jobs. We expect that. There'll be companies going under, and of course, when a company goes on, people lose their jobs, and there'll be more. Unfortunately, I have to say this: there'll be more family division. A lot of divorces going to be happening, a lot of separation, where money is lacking, and the family gets impacted tremendously. And so how are you guys preparing yourself to take advantage of these situations? Because as you all know, you have probably once, possibly twice in your life of a recessionary time where you can leverage it. And if you talk about, Colin, your parents or your older friends didn't utilize that recessionary time to make themselves a lot of money. So how are you preparing yourself to do that? And what you going to do?
Well, with instability, as you said, Frank, creates opportunity.
Yeah.
And the people who are unstable are going to be subject to or going to be affected by the recession. The people who are stable are going to be able to take advantage of the recession. So what I'm doing now is I'm focused on stability. I'm trying to be cash heavy, having access to funds, partnering up with other individuals who are on the same mindset to create joint ventures, being able to leverage the banks, making sure my credit is in tip-top shape, so when it's time to go to the bank and say, look, you know what, I need to make things happen. Okay, Mr. Propone, everything is taken care of. Right. I have great credit. Mm-hmm. So, taking care of those things in anticipation of opportunity. Taking care of your credit, networking with like-minded people, educating yourself during the good times so that during the bad times, you have the education, you have the know-how, you have the knowledge, and you have the motivation to make it work for you.
Okay, so that's from a consumer's perspective, in the sense that when the consumer is lacking in certain areas, you have what it takes to take advantage and buy those properties. What about an institution perspective, in the sense that the banks will be giving a lower interest rate? What about the government incentive? Are you seeing any of that going on in the market right now?
Well, the governments, they're trying to keep the rates low because they're afraid of this recession. They're trying to keep everybody happy. A lot of people have an objective to that, or don't like that idea, because basically what it is they feel is the government's giving money, keeping everyone happy now, and having our children's going to pay for it in the future.
Right.
So I guess there's pros and cons to that. But if the government's going to give us incentive to invest and leverage the system, and that's kind of one of the biggest advantages of real estate, to be quite honest. We can't go to the bank and say, you know what, could you give me a mortgage or a loan to go and buy stocks? They'll look at you like you're crazy.
Yes.
So that's when real estate is fundamental. It's a good foundation, because if the banks are going to give you money and the government's going to give you money to invest in it, they're no fools. And they're not going to just throw away their money.
But obviously, both the government and the bank, their objective is to build the economy, to stabilize the market. And as they give incentive, it's because there's instability, and you should take advantage of those incentives and invest in real estate. And Sabine, what are you doing locally right now?
Well, as Colin said, I think joint ventures would be a great opportunity at this time, because some people may be low on capital, and they don't have enough to invest at this time. So they're looking at different opportunities to network with people, get a group of people going, and you may want to get a small piece of a bigger pie, and that's okay. You can settle with that. And when you help people make money, you make money, and you have to have that mindset that it's okay to group up, and you can look into bigger projects. Right. This is the time you can actually benefit in those areas. As far as the government and the other incentives go, in times of recession, as Colin said, you could have your mortgage rates or your other rates or your credit rates at a stable level, or they could even drop. So it all depends on what how the market is going to be. But you need to stay connected with all these key individuals. So you need to be connected with your bankers. You need to be connected with your brokers, your agents, your financial advisors. All those people. You need to have those team of people around you to make those sound decisions. So
the common question that I always get, and you guys are probably familiar with this too, what about a person who has bad credit, a limited income? Okay, to have bad credit, limited income, not a lot of money to put down. How can they leverage this recessionary market to make themselves a lot of money?
Well, you see, real estate, and that's what I like real estate, and when we do creative strategies, we're making opportunities for everybody. It's not only for people who have a lot of money. The whole idea of real estate and having creative strategies is to leverage other people's money. So you may not have enough money and have a very moderate income, but if you have the right aspect and the right strategy, you can still make money.
Right.
And recession is a great time. So things like sandwich lease options, could be something that you could do. You don't need so much money for that. Things like assignments, or wholesaling a property. So those things that you can actually, as long as you're well educated on those things, you can make money. This is a good opportunity.
Excellent. Can you do me a favor? Could you, maybe in a short or brief statement, explain to the average person what exactly a lease option is, or a sandwich lease option? And how does it really work?
Okay, so a sandwich lease option, for example, would be something, give an example, I'm the investor. I'm the person who doesn't have too much money, doesn't have too much to put in. And I have a seller and I have a buyer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for a person or a buyer who wants to own a property but can't for some reason, and doesn't have enough capital, doesn't have enough down payment to do it. So I'm going to construct a contract, a system for this individual. Okay, and then I'm going to say, okay, so this is what you're going to afford, this is how much you can afford, this is according to that person's affordability. We're going to create a contract, and then I'm going to look for a seller. And when I find the seller, the right seller, the whole thing is to connect the seller and the buyer together, and you're the middle person and you get a cut of that. All you have to do is be the project manager. You have to be the genius in the whole transactions, and you can make money.
So what are you saying? You actually just creating contracts for a person who wants to sell and can't sell, and a person who wants to buy and can't buy. So you're the middle person there, the manager managing these projects to allow them to create a successful transaction.
Absolutely. And it's a win-win situation, all three.
The seller wins, the buyer wins, and you win as the managing partner or the investor into the deal. Okay, folks, you say you have a lot of options to invest in real estate, even in a down market, even if your situation is limited. You can do lease options, you can do single lease options, you can do sublease options, you can do wholesaling, you can do assignment. You can flip properties, but we don't really like flipping properties, but you can do that if you want. There's so many options to take advantage of the real estate market in this recession. And what kind of creative strategy are you using with yourself or some of your investors locally?
Lease option is a good option. Sandwich lease option is a good option. The key in real estate to create, in business as a whole, is to create win-win situations. If it's lopsided, the transactions just go through. So what we try to produce is a win-win situation where we have the buyer and the seller both winning the transaction going through freely and successfully. So what you're going to find in recessionary times is people who lack income, maybe people who lack credit or employment. So, and we might find more motivated sellers. So as Sabine said, for getting a motivated seller, attach them to a motivated buyer who's not in the perfect situation with their credit or their employment, but needs a place to live and is looking forward to ownership in maybe 4 or 5 years. Once the market turns around, these options are a fantastic approach. So my question to you both is, can the average person start off investing in real estate without any formal training? I mean, people can do what they like. Would I advise it? Absolutely not. Formal education is very important to knowing the strategies, learning how to build your team. Real estate is a team game. You need great members of your team. You need a good mortgage broker. You need a good real estate agent. You need successful mentees around you to push you in the right direction, to show you the process. Could you do that all on your own? Highly unlikely. So I would advise to get some formal training from REMIC or any other such companies who do what we do, and find a company that you can get some information, get some education, and a company that just not promotes education, but it promotes implementation of education and
absolutely
action. I think that's the key. I mean, we could sit here and talk about it all day long till the next recession in another 30 years. But the fact of the matter is, if you don't take advantage and you don't take action, and that's the whole premise of this whole meeting, is we must take action, and you must find people who are going to push you in the right direction, either through mentorship, through formal education.
And I like that you said that people need to start looking at companies not only going to give you the education, but also give you the implementation, which you talk about is results of your finances. Education is good. It only is good if you're getting results in whatever you're educated on. So you got to be taking action. So the other thing a lot of folks talk about. So Frank, I need lots of money now. I need lots of money now. Our philosophy is buy, hold, and profit. So from an investor who brand new in the business and needs lots of money now, how can they get money, lots of money right now? We talk about getting cash back upon closing, which put a lot of money in their pocket right now. How can they do that, Colin?
On transactions, to get money during a transaction, there's a number of ways. Yeah, cash back on closing, so we could ask the bank for cash back. The bank is giving incentives to different mortgage programs to get cash back. On top of that, we normally analyze the properties prior for cash flow, and if there's things lacking or improvements need to be made, we can include that in the contract, whereby the seller is going to be able to give us a cash back on closing to make those remedies to get the property up to standard. We also do promote strategizing with a real estate agent, negotiating some of that commission back from the real estate agent to help that transaction go through. Mortgage brokers as well. We can approach mortgage brokers and say, look, you know what, we're investors, we're doing bulk business. You know, help us grow our business, we'll help you grow your business. So once again, we're trying to create win-win situations where both parties are in a win-win situation.
Next time. And are you doing the same thing too, Sabine?
Well, Frank, I think he nailed it. Colin basically touched on all different aspects of what can actually make you money if you need a lot of cash to do this. And again, you know, tap into people around you, your network. You know, you need to know who's, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask. Let them know. Promote your business. Talk to them about your business. Let them know this is what you're doing. And if you're not able to generate cash right now, the more you talk about, the more information you're going to give, you'll be surprised. People are going to come forward because they want to know what you're doing, and they get excited when they see you, especially when real estate comes. Yes. Everybody gets excited. so use that strategy, and you know, feel confident. And I want to touch base on just a little bit of what you said about starting with real estate. If you know, an average person who may not have a lot of education, or want to start in real estate, I would personally advise against it. I had read lots of books on real estate, but there's nothing that can compare to one-on-one instruction and mentorship. I think it is integral. People have done it. They have done it, you know, reading books, and they've gone and bought real estate, and it has worked for them. But right now in recession times, this is the key time. You need to know strategies. And I don't think that, you know, any transaction or any real estate transaction is cut and dry, black and white. There are always things that you need to know more about, and you can actually get more money if you're more educated. And that education cannot come from books. You need to be a part of an institution or a mentorship program to learn those things. So
we pretty much, what you're saying, you need to be part of a program that's located locally in your area.
It's very important to have
where your mentor or the institution you work with is currently active in your local area. Because what might work in one city might not work in the next city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. And there you go, folks. So again, this is a recession is a terrible thing to waste. Are you mentally prepared? If you want to invest in real estate, or you want to start your own real estate investment program to build yourself a multi-million-dollar wealth estate, get on board. Okay, join our real estate workshops and get educated. Get yourself a mentor to learn how to do many different things, from lease options, sandwich lease options, sublease lease options, wholesaling, assignment, joint venture. So you can better get access to cash back upon closing, and teach you in a step-by-step process how to invest in real estate in your local area and make yourself a fortune. We'll be right back with a recession. It's a terrible thing to waste. Are you mentally prepared?